I got the lyrics to Eric Clapton's "Tears in Heaven" in front of me.
Yeah, don't. More positive.
It is positive.
It is not
Would
positive.
you
It's mocking, and the
know
guy's
my
dead.
name if I saw you in heaven?
This is the King of Kanto, episode 68. Episodo Lokuju Hachiban. Ne. What up, Kings?
Oh, it's good to be back. I have missed that intro.
Me too.
It's been a long ass time.
It's like a sweater that you spilled bong water on when you're in university.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
when you
putting
put on
that
that
shirt back
crusty
on.
sock that you didn't know that you jerked off into.
Yeah, you just the smell of regret. Oh, I remember this. This was good, but regret.
Yeah, you're talking about listening to that first Drew episode. Just looking at the date, it was 5 years ago.
It was. And you know what I loved? I was listening to it. Do you remember how we started that episode?
No idea.
That was an episode we got a lot of shit for because we reviewed Strongs.
For like too long, or
Just the fact that we reviewed Strongs is like, oh, this is like Trash Taste doing a tier test or, some shit like that.
You know what's funny? I was looking through the Google Drive as we were preparing to do this, and I saw the document where we wrote which Strongs won.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I think you guys need to be disqualified because you had Triple Lemon, which is a seasonal release.
It's not even a seasonal release. It's gone. It's dead.
It's gone. Yeah, exactly. That can't be your favorite. You got to go with like Double Lemon, something that is consistently on the shelf.
Giga Lemon.
Giga Lemon's dead. Giga Lemon is dead.
So once again, I hate to break this to you, but by disqualification, Grape wins.
You might be right.
Yeah, Grape wins.
Yeah, it tastes
because
like
Grape still exists.
I mean, Cam, you're Australian. You remember Dimetap?
This is the exact same comment you had 5 years ago.
No joke.
Nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed.
And we have Dimetap in the US too, by the way.
The funny thing is, I was talking about Strong Zeros and I said, like, you know what? I think it's going to make its way overseas. And now it exists in Australia.
Minus 197.
Yeah, minus. Yeah. And I was like, I think it's going to make its way to Australia. And Nick was like, nah.
It's because of all of the it's all of the fucking Australian
5 years later, who's right? Me.
Yeah.
Who's wrong?
You're right.
You.
But as a snowboarder, you can't go to Nisek or Hakuba or anywhere now without like a deluge of fucking Australian skiers. So it was only natural they were going to bring it with them.
Yeah, isn't it horrible?
It
doesn't make any sense because I see the price of it and it's like this defeats the entire purpose. It is 6% and not 9%, and it's expensive. Like it costs as much as the most expensive craft beer.
Yeah,
like $30 for a 4-pack.
Yeah,
but that's how much Strong Zeros at 6% cost.
Yeah, I was back there in September, and the prices of alcohol in Australia are absolutely disgusting.
It's insane. It's absolutely ridiculous.
But
it's over.
Just on that note, talking about the Aussie skiers, I've got a British mate who skis a lot, and he's coined them as the Ausskeetos because from the background, like you'll hear a group of them just going.
That's how we sound. We're so lame.
We
didn't get cool accents.
Hey, come on! They're better than some of the other ones I could have gotten.
Yeah, they're better than some of the other ones, which I'll name later.
Are you talking about the United States recent immigrants for South Africans?
Yeah.
South Africans sound cool. Hello, they got that. How's it? Like they sound like Bond villains. They're great.
Dr. Rudy.
Dr. Rudy here.
Diplomatic immunity, right?
I've got diplomatic immunity. Yeah, exactly. That's bad guy voice. That's pretty cool.
That's a good bad guy voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we're out of retirement.
We're out of retirement. Yeah.
Cam, would you like to fill us in on why we're out of retirement?
Yeah. Well, I was actually going to do this to Nick as well. I say, like, hey, Nick, for new listeners, can you explain the concept of the show?
That actually is a pretty good point. So the original concept of the show was we were really bored and drunk during the early stages of COVID, right? So we decided, well, and we did that a lot. And we were just so perennially online. We were just kind of like, well, all of this content about Japan is absolute dog shit. So why don't we just make a podcast kind of, a little bit influenced by our favorite podcasts? And, we break down and review them. And then at the end of a series, we would award the title, the King of Kanto, to, somebody who we viewed as kind of like the ultimate gaijin smash, or the ultimate kind of like buffoon in Japan.
So basically a guy who, because you can come to Japan as a tourist speaking no Japanese and be totally comfortable because the country's set up like that. Like a lot of countries are set up for tourists. But the thing is when you get to Japan, you can actually just settle into that life. And for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, and not understand most things. You'll have no Japanese, no understanding of the culture, but you've just been a tourist somehow for 15 years. And we wanted to look at that kind of person.
Which, again, we can admit that kind of lifestyle is fun. And it really is. There is something really fun about living in Japan and kind of having your blinders on.
Well, you should be able to look back at yourself and laugh. Like if you had an emo phase or a goth phase or a homeboy phase, you'd be able to look back and laugh at it. And when new people do it, you should be able to laugh at them too because you remember what
the correct answer is satisfied.
Yeah, you can laugh at, well, I didn't have a Ryan Boundless phase.
I actually have an update on Ryan Boundless later.
He's living in a car, right?
Yeah, my entire segment is called Reading Ryan Boundless's Recent Upload Titles.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, you can be a tourist, but you can also sort of laugh. It's like, oh yeah, I remember I got to Japan and I thought reading Japan Times would make me some sort of intellectual powerhouse. I used to, do this and think that I was being clever or smart or unique, but actually everybody was doing this. I struggled to find the buttons meaning on the air conditioner when I first got here. You can look back at that and laugh. It can be you, and you can still laugh at the people who do that. And that's the sort of people we're laughing at. People like, oh yeah, I remember struggling with that. But then you got some people who's like 5 years in still struggling with the buttons.
Yeah, and it's not just that. We kind of found this cavalcade of, or should I say, rogues gallery of people that we could actually kind of take that from.
Lovable
rogues. Some who were that very definition of gaijin smash, and some who were actually very, very well integrated, but somewhat aggressive about their portrayal of their personality or something with their content creation.
Yeah. They were good, they were bad, they were ugly, and since the show has ended, I think I've reached out and I've made friends with a lot of the folks.
I think a lot of us have.
Yeah,
and
I haven't. Fuck those people.
Well.
So I can imagine 10 years later, you know what, Johnny Somali, not so bad.
Whoa, we missed that. That's the live stream.
We were pre Johnny Somali, and we were like, "This is going to end up bad."
Yeah,
I can see something bad happening on the horizon.
So
people keep allowing this.
We dipped our cocks into trying some new formats over the last 4 years since we stopped. So we tried the King of Kanto, which is actually a good concept, and we might bring that back to some extent.
With
and then
some revisions.
with some Yeah, and then we tried just a summertime reboot. We were bored, and we were talking about it that the Twitch kick party phase of live streaming is extraordinarily hard to cover, unless you are so online that you were just always watching these people. We're talking Ice Poseidon, Suspenders, Johnny Somali, that German kid who lugs around a gigantic JBL speaker and does backflips. Like, there's a lot of people who came here treating Japan as a playground. I think the tide has kind of turned on that, and the government is doing more and more into actually trying to suppress that kind of behavior. So I think we kind of took a break at a good time, because trying to cover all of those guys would be absolutely exhausting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like, and he's sleeping again. He's recording himself. He's sleeping. He's doing some more sleeping.
Suspenders?
Yeah, he's still sleeping.
Well, he moved to Thailand and has some woman I think is slowly poisoning him to death.
I think his premature death is on her mind.
Yeah. Somalia just got put away for 31 years, apparently. In
No, not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, no, they're going to delay the trial. I've been following that pretty closely, actually.
Yeah, Legal Mindset is really good at covering that. And Atozi, who's a much larger channel as well.
Yeah, I've been watching him.
I think Somali will get put in the dock, but not for as long as people are hoping for.
Trump's going to pardon him. Look, I understand. He's one of the good ones. I don't think he is. I don't think no one's going to. I don't think anyone likes this guy. I'm amazed that I think even the people who pay to his donations hate him.
They're paying to see what happens and to goad him on into getting into more trouble.
Yeah, scream the N-word now, I'll pay you $1.
It's definitely hate watching. But to go back to the original point, the concept of the King of Kanto, what we did was kind of on the tail end of a lot of jvloggers. So there were a big community of jvloggers who I think got big around 2014 to 2016 or so. We're talking for Chris Broads, for Sharlas, not Tokyo Sam. But
big for a different reason, but yeah.
Yeah, there was this big community who were portraying this kind of glass-eyed, Crystal Castle version of Japan. We're just like, well, you know what? They're just going to encourage people who are going to come here for the wrong reasons. So we created the podcast to more or less just dispel information. And, over the course of 67 episodes, and I think 15 bonuses or mini episodes or something, we're quite prestigious in how we're recording. And, sometimes we were potentially unfair, and sometimes we were maybe a bit too drunk for the level of what a professional recorder should probably entail. But
who's that aimed at? Fuck you.
Mostly.
I thought it was aimed at himself.
Is this an intervention again? Fuck you. I want out. Where's the door?
I'm crying for help, guys. But yeah, we really kind of became the bad boys of Japan podcasting, because nobody had done this before, and it was a really new concept. It was, people really attached us to Japan Circle Jerk and the kind of jerk communities. But for us, it was just a way to blow off steam while we're bored during COVID.
I had the idea of my stoicism, my sobriety, my dreams, and my future, personified as an army against the wave of alcoholism. Alcoholism is over there on the side, and my guys just turn into the French, and they're like, "Oh no, you're going to win. You have to rape us now."
I thought it was the meme of the dam going into a valley, and the water would be alcoholism, the dam would be King of Kanto, and then the valley might just be jumping in front of a speeding N700.
I know what the thumbnail's going to be, Nick.
Yeah.
I've thought about that, when you just get really, really drunk and you're just standing there on the train platform and saying not unless it's a Shinkansen.
Wow, that is dark.
I want to be the world's fastest man for a split second. If I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out faster than Usain Bolt.
Yeah, it's like those TikToks of Indians who are walking across train lines.
Sorry, I was thinking of the TikToker who got shot live today.
Oh, the Mexican girl.
A Mexican. I didn't even see it. I'm like, hey, can anyone show me the video? Just for, just
yeah.
Gentlemen, can I call a point of order and focus this back to the
subject at hand?
Yeah, the subject at hand. Yeah.
Okay. Just to gather it together because people can't get the old episodes. Who was the jvlogger who disgusted you the most? Who did you like? Who scratched you the wrong way?
More than anyone, I would say.
More than anyone.
JP, the jvlog.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? The guy who was like on the show.
I just think his attitude to his dementia-ridden elderly wife was just too disgusting to handle.
Yeah, that was dark.
Yeah,
that was really dark. Like I could talk about who was the other guy who was like clearly a creep. Oh, sorry. That's
the guy who made cookies and stealth recorded himself with prostitutes.
Yeah, there you go. There we go.
Oh, dude, what was his name?
Wasn't God. That?
He was French Canadian, right?
Japanese?
No, he was a British guy.
Oh, Christ! Something in Japan before he was in Japan. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, we met a lot of creeps. Jay, what about you?
Chris O'Connell.
Who?
What your favorite episode? The most researched episode, Chris O'Connell.
Yeah, he was the guy who did Tokyo Creative.
That guy? Oh yeah, I guess like kind of he's like
he screwed over a lot of people.
His influence kind of reached out. Yeah, I'm still going with Gaijin Goomba.
Gaijin Goomba.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Also, Venus Angelic's mum.
Yeah, Venus Angelic's mum. But like those are the worst guys. But Gaijin Goomba was like that quintessential. Lived here for a year, spent the rest of his career talking as a Japanese expert.
Makes his white wife use a Japanese name.
Yeah, he calls his white wife Aki.
Yeah,
and just every single stream's about Japan, and somehow has made a career out of it. That's the worst part of it.
Yeah, I'll never forget him crying about Logan Paul.
Video's still up. You can watch it whenever you want.
It might be fuck Logan Paul,
he cries because he slams his hand on the table, saying he spent so much time being a grassroots ambassador.
How many years was it, Nick?
Between 16 and 18.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, I want to focus on why we're coming out of retirement here. And there was a death in the jvlogging community. And I don't know. I don't feel bad about the interactions we had with.
Fuck no.
Totally Okay, hold on. Let me get it out. I don't feel bad about the interactions we had with him. We did our thing. He did his thing. We got a lot of really cool sound bites out of it. And we did have some sort of communication with him over the years. When I first learned he was sick, I sent a message from the King of Kanto email address. He never replied. So, and this was it was a year ago. It wasn't after he passed away, obviously. But so Tokyo Drew passed away recently. He had cancer. It was stage 4 lung cancer, which metastasized and spread to his brain and then into his spinal fluid. And he did pass away as of recording about 5 days ago. He was, after all the episodes we had before this, he was the duly elected and voted on King of Kanto.
We had like a thing online where you could vote. Every single time we introduced a new person. He was episode 2.
Yeah.
And the audience was like unanimous, like this guy wins King of Kanto. We knew it even before we brought him in.
He was a front runner the entire run of the first phase of King of Kanto. So, I don't know. I think we want to talk about a few things. I see we wrote down Drew stories and I don't know if you guys want to tell some Drew stories in memoriam.
Yeah. I think
King of Kanto is a biatch.
That's one of my favorites.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I think more than anything else, like what he was at the start, he was a goofball, and when he was getting called out on his behavior, he reacted rather angrily, I would say. But then over time, I think he did, especially in the last 2 years or so, so well after we quit, he kind of really had a lot of growth and a lot of awareness. And
Yes.
I think he just changed from just being a goof to a lovable goofball.
He did, like, yeah, on streams you can hear him kind of like laughing at himself. I think there's one stream where he's like going hot coffee, like he
Yep.
at one point he was like trying to order hot coffee and he couldn't quite do it. People made fun of him, but then he kind of like, oh yeah, it is kind of funny that I have been living in Japan for 15 years and can't order coffee.
Yeah.
He made fun of himself just like sort of the tail end of his career.
Yeah, I did want to say that we started off adversarial, and then I don't think we became friends, but we kind of became neutral. And I think when we had our episode and our criticisms and the subsequent discussion over many episodes about Drew, I think it did actually help him reflect. And our criticisms were quite valid. I mean, there was a lot going on, and the guy's gone, so I don't want to rehash everything. But I think his behavior did improve, because on Reddit, he reads it and goes, fuck those guys. But then on a podcast, you actually hear real people giving their opinion in their own voice. And I think that the format actually may have gotten through a little better than just reading something on the internet.
Yeah, it was kind of hard because we got called bullies a lot. We're still getting called bullies. And the thing is, like, for me, a bully finds you and beats you up. If you track down the bully and listen to their conversations and they say something mean about you and then you get upset, that's not bullying. That you're seeking it out. And that was a big problem with Drew, was with a lot of the guys. We spoke about a lot of guys, but less than half of them got upset. Yep. Less than half of them, because they had to seek us out, listen to our podcast, go onto Reddit, find where we were, find our criticisms, and then get offended. There was so many steps they had to take to get upset beforehand.
Right, Nick and Cam?
And Drew did it. And that was a big thing, because people sort of probably goofed on Drew. They would have gotten bored with him and like passed him aside, because there are a lot of like jvloggers guys like filming their apartments and filming shit and saying that this is the truth about Japan and just making up nonsense. There's a bunch of TikTokers doing it now. But the reason why Drew got so much infamy is because he kept reacting to the criticism.
Yeah,
he did.
We said it how many times? The best thing you can do is ignore, and it goes away, right?
We told them that. Ignore it. Ignore us and we will disappear. And people like, no, may Allah kill you, or something like that.
Oh, God, don't bring that up again.
May Allah strike you down.
Yeah, it was may Allah strike you down. Thank you.
No, may Allah destroy you.
May Allah destroy you. I still have it. It's in the Google Drive if you want to see it.
I think one of these days we should read out her diatribe.
I think we did on one of the subsequent shows, but
no, I think that was I think we did. We also played like Oriental Pearl's voicemails.
Yeah. I mean,
hey, do you remember when she was trying to video call us at like 1 a.m.?
It was later than that, and I was like, why is my phone ringing at 3 o'clock in the morning? And I'm like, why is Oriental Pearl trying to call us on Instagram?
Not even a call, a video call.
Yeah. But it was via Instagram or something, right? So
yeah, it was.
There's a different universe right now where one of us picked that call up.
Oh, yeah, no.
There's a parallel universe where someone picked up that call and spoke on video to Oriental Pearl. I was in the dark. I could have picked up.
I was literally in the dark looking at my phone in bed when that happened.
What? That's like, I must be misreading that. And I hung up and then.
But what I love, she sent some like flex messages like, I'm awake studying until 2 a.m. every night.
Pick up Jay.
Yeah, pick up. And she said that. Pick up Jay.
Pick up Jay. And it's like, yeah, why does she know Jay is the one handling this?
So, Nick, do you want to go over the Reddit drama? Before we even dropped this episode, there was already drama.
Yeah. It wasn't much.
It wasn't
pretty
much.
lame.
It wasn't much. Oriental Pearl did say that we were being distasteful, I think was what she said.
You, don't us.
Okay. Yeah. But I literally said, and I mean this genuinely, like I'm sorry about your friend, and it's not about us. We made good.
Yeah, you want to sort of say this, like, guys, we don't know. Like, we know that you did like collabs with this guy. You did like one collab. We don't know if you guys are off getting coffee every weekend, if you're meeting each other, if you're exchanging Christmas cards, or whether you never talk to each other and slightly hate each other. We have no idea of your relationship, his relationship. Like, it was actually funny. I listened back to that old episode, and at the end of it, Jay gives like this disclaimer saying, hey, just remember, all of the people we're making fun of, they're real people. Don't harass them. Don't intimidate them. Don't go to their place.
It was at the end of every episode.
Yeah, it was every episode.
Don't just leave these people alone. We can make fun of them here. This is our space. We can go over here and make fun of them. But you don't go over to them. Right? And I sort of think like this, so it's not bullying. It's not harassment, making fun of these guys at all.
It is open criticism.
Yeah, you made yourself public. We made fun of you. That's it. Like, if it got to you, you always could have turned off the machine. Whatever you were listening to, you could have turned it off.
Do you think that a director or a producer of a television show goes out of their way to shout at, reviewers and critics for a less than glamorous score?
Apparently Kevin Smith did.
Yeah, he would.
Apparently Kevin Smith was big about that, and that's kind of what made him... Remember when but Kevin Smith and Tarantino used to be held in like the same caliber?
We're obviously better than Kevin Smith.
I mean, I think Kevin Smith kind of finished out at about Dogma.
Yeah. That was it.
Yeah. But either way, I understand that there's a lot of hurt, and I think that if people want to view that our criticisms of Drew were ultimately hurtful, it doesn't reflect the true picture and the correspondence that we had with him over the years.
Correct.
Yeah, but also it's like, you've got to understand, we're explaining what we're seeing. Like, we were talking about, here's this guy pissing in an alleyway. Here's this guy mangling the language.
Pissing.
Only on a live stream.
Pissing on vending machines.
That's Drew pissing on vending machines.
He recording people without permission.
There was that one time where he walked down. This is my favorite Drew story. Drew Crimes. Walking down some street, it's got a lot of like old school buildings, like the not damaged by the bomb kind of classical Japanese buildings, and they've got all of these signs saying "Don't film here," and they've got like a camera with the no sign through them, right?
Yeah.
He's walking down, ignoring all the signs, right? He's fluent in sign. He knows what camera with a big red cross through it means. But he's ignoring them all. And then he goes, hey, there's a dog. And he films this woman without her consent with a dog. And she looks really upset. And then she flips him the bird.
Yeah.
She gives him the middle finger, which is great because it's amazing. Like, this old Japanese woman knows what that means to him, right? And he goes, ooh. He flips the camera back to himself like, I just got flipped off. Ooh. And he keeps walking. And then she picks up a sign, one of the signs with no camera, and just keeps walking menacingly towards him.
Sign chat.
Until it gets right up into the camera. And then it just cuts. And the last frame is just him looking completely befuddled with a giant no sign and an angry-looking Japanese woman holding it up.
What about taking out his co-worker to Ueno or something and asking how many dicks, like, how many Japanese guys have you fucked?
Yeah. At least he had the common decency to delete that one.
He did. You're a hoe. You know you're a hoe.
Yeah, God.
And listen, like, I'm not saying he never did that kind of behavior again. He never did that again after we criticized him, but he didn't record it.
He deleted stuff. He asked. I remember, like, people had like saved that stuff and re-uploaded it.
Yeah,
and he requested it to be taken down. He knew how it looked.
Yeah. Well, at the time he didn't, but
and on that note, well, actually, before I go to my final note on Drew, another Drew memory was when he was so sure he saw Jay and Jay's son in public.
Yeah, you know, Jay's son.
Yeah.
Jay Jr.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that.
The kids can call you Jeju.
He's Jeju. He's a swinger. He's going to be a baseball champion.
And then he actually texted us. It's like, I learned you have a daughter, not a son. I'm sorry.
He shouldn't have assumed.
But he was so giddy about it. Like, you guys, that was that guy. Can you find him?
Yeah, it was actually a fan of his that was happy to meet him.
Oh, yeah, it's just someone just shouted out Saitama Drew. So he thought it was like he thought it was Jay. It's like, clearly this is Jay. Clearly there's only one person in the world who hates me. There's only one person.
I never hated him. You guys had more vitriol than I did.
Oh, I don't know. I listened back to that second episode and you guys were much harder than me.
Now we're projecting.
I was holding back the punches.
On that note, join our Discord and we'll be posting old episodes. So
oh God.
Maybe. Go to Patreon so you can get in the Discord, and then maybe we'll post the old episodes.
Yeah. Only the good ones.
Yeah.
There was a lot of shit in there. But yeah, I just want to point out that towards the last 2 years and last year, Drew really was quite generous with his kind of opinions and growth and things like that. So I think I wouldn't wish that on anybody to go through what he went through, and I legitimately pray for him. I think that man went through hell, and I think, you know, for us, we never held anything against him. There's no original sin with Drew. We made peace with him before we quit, actually, but I think he expressed an openness and generosity with his community that should be commended.
People liked listening to his show and people were entertained by him, you know, and I think a lot of people, like, it was funny, Art Tokyo, which is a normie feed, right? It's like just for regular folk. They were saying, like, yeah, people, you know, this guy provided us with a lot of laughs unintentionally, but he was a good guy. Like, that's what they're saying about him. These are not JCJ guys. This is just the regular community.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, you know, like he was
a goofy guy.
Like a nice, genuine goofy guy. Yeah, JCJ and those old groups used to shit on him, but yeah, whatever. You know, it's like, yeah, he was funny. Yeah, he was goofy. Yeah, he got a lot of things wrong, but whatever. He was like, you know, it's sad to see the OG J-vlogger go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everyone was sort of like, we're not going to pretend like he was the greatest human being, greatest J-vlogger, greatest filmmaker ever created. We're just going to acknowledge who he was and be like, oh, yeah, it's sad he's gone.
Yeah. Oh, did I tell you I met up with Greg on the weekend?
Ooh.
Greg
yeah, Greg only came back for a couple of days. But we were out drinking just serendipitously when we got news that Drew died. So we had a quiet tipple for him. And on Sunday, when I saw that they said he was going to be cremated at 2:30 or something like that.
One last smoke.
I had a Lucky Strike and a Scotch on my rooftop and put it up for Drew.
I'm pissed because Cam, that was my joke in our chat, and you just stole it.
Did it? Did I? Oh, okay.
Yes.
I got a different joke. Do you want
I
to
said,
hear my other
"Geez, he's
joke?
still smoking."
Do you want to hear my other joke?
Yes, please. Save yourself.
You know that in Japan, when someone's cremated, they pass the bones between the family members on chopsticks. Yeah, out of respect of Drew, they used forks.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
No, take my joke. It was okay. That was better.
Hey, everyone. That joke was written by Jay. Okay.
All right.
Anyway, glasses up to the King of Kanto.
To the king.
The King of Kanto is dead. Long live
the King of Kanto.
Long live the King of Kanto. And who's it going to be next time? Daniel Lord?
No. Sam's next. But besides that,
Sam's
we did have other in memoriam.
Threateningly said.
We did have other in memoriam, and I did need to bring up something I was surprised. So our name was taken by like the Tokyo Comedy Club or something like that.
Oh, those motherfuckers. They used like some cheap AI shit of a raccoon. And then they said they took our fucking name. And when we when we sent Radri to go and ask him what the fuck that was about. And they're like, oh, didn't even know. It must be like a parallel thinking. So those motherfuckers knew what they were stealing.
Yeah.
Knew what they were stealing.
No. Don't correct him. That's it. That's it. They were stealing it.
They stole it.
They stole it.
They stole it. And for a fucking live comedy show that no one wants to go to.
What I love is that they say since 2018, but there's no media from before like 2023.
Oh, isn't that interesting? And we went off there in 2022, August?
Yeah.
They're trying to say that they existed beforehand. The fuckers.
Nice try, Tokyo.
We still own the domain, motherfuckers.
We do.
They don't exist. They're not important. No one cares. No one wants to go to that show. I've seen them post stuff and it gets like one like from the venue.
Speaking of they don't exist, nobody likes them, and nobody hits the like button. We also have to pour out a little bit for the Kabini Boys.
They're the Kabini Boys. They're the Kabini Boys. They're the Kabini Boys.
Not anymore.
Yeah, isn't it funny that podcasts die or Gaijin podcasts die when people go back to their home countries? Cam and Greg.
Look. First of all, yes, I'm back in Australia, and out of respect, because here's the thing: that second episode we talked about it. I was drinking a strong 0 double lemon, and that's what I had just now before the show.
Excellent.
Out of respect. And I'm not in Japan anymore, but I'm back there like once to twice a year and still doing a lot of work in the Japanese community. But yeah, I'm not in Japan anymore.
You still own property here, so
yeah, I still own property there, and I still get like Japanese people coming in, and like they're still. I don't want to say what I do because it's going to give it away. But yeah, I'm overseas, but I'm still part of the Japan circle.
Jerk.
The jerk. I'm still part of the jerk, yeah.
But yes, the Konbini Boys have stopped uploading. So both Mike and... what do I call it? Matt and Scrappy Doo? Mike and
the Wombat? Mike and the Wombat?
Mike and the Wombat.
The Wombat was, just to remind you guys, the Wombat was actually from Ghost Stories or Ghost something.
Ghost Maps Japan?
Ghost Maps Japan. That was actually the one that's
okay.
We just interchanged them.
That was a great episode.
I really like that episode because I changed the theme music and everything to have like Halloween sounds.
Nice.
That was good. I still have those lying around somewhere, so we got to do a Halloween episode.
But yes, for anybody who relies on Matt and Scrappy Doo or Mike and Scrappy Doo or the Wombat and Matt
They've-
or whatever.
They've thrown in the Tamago sand.
They've thrown in the towel. You will no longer find out the delicacies that you might receive from Lawson from week to week.
Can you just go down there and like recreate that experience? Can you just go down?
No, because we need to microdose shrooms, and that's very difficult to get.
Okay,
Let me tell you.
Don't
So
touch the food, though. Okay,
Yeah,
that's the rule. Don't pick up the food.
before Greg left, we had this idea of doing something called the Gentleman of Convenience, and just doing this like really highbrow version of convenience reviews.
Now, this one
I'd watch that.
denotes it has notes of strawberry, and it's like a strawberry cream sandwich.
We were legitimately thinking about suiting up, wearing white gloves, and trying Fami Chicky and like reviewing it as if it were a Michelin star restaurant.
Dun, 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 dun. Like you've got like the wine that comes out of the little tin. Have you seen those? The little wines that come out of like
the canned wines. Yeah.
It's shaped like a wine bottle.
But you know what?
Oh yeah, I have seen those.
Gentleman of Convenience, I still think we have to do.
I think we should do the other idea, which is we get the tofu car from what's that anime series?
Oh, Initial D.
Initial D,
and we recreate Ghost Maps Japan by drifting through tunnels.
Gas. I'm gonna step on the gas.
All right, this is quickly going off the rails, guys.
You would love that, Joe. It's like maybe there was a ghost in there, but we were drifting too far.
We drifted
backwards through the tunnel to see any ghosts.
But yes, another glass raised to the Combini Boys. Play the theme again.
They're the Combini Boys. They're the Combini Boys. They're the Combini Boys.
If I ever become like a Logan Paul boxer who's like beating up geriatric ex-boxers, that's the song I want to come out to.
Yeah, nice. I'm into it.
All right, so let's just do a little bit of a roundup. I think we've been speaking a while. This is our kind of test run for a cock 2. But
that's gonna be your pussy farting real soon, bitch.
There's a lot more to say about what is it?
The poor new audience.
Like, yeah, we need a new soundboard.
It's like we were sending like, hey guys, play Skyrim and learn about all the lore. By the way, Oblivion doesn't exist anymore. Like, learn about the lore. By the way, none of the old episodes where you can learn about the lore exist online.
Oh, it's a crow!
Out of context, people are going to be, why the fuck does that mean anything?
Hey, the initial downloaders are going to be OGs anyway.
Yeah, no one. We're picking up no new fans. We got half a listener now.
Yeah,
actually, we have -1.
We're going to have one guy with like half an earbud in, and that's it. We're going to have half a listen. Spotify's going to 0.5 listeners.
I did the announcement like, hey, we're coming back. And the first thing that happened was we lost a subscriber. I'm like, all right, here we go.
It's like, oh, fuck, I forgot these guys existed. Block.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, they're still around. Unsubscribed.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of somebody who just exists, have you been following up on Venus Angelic?
Oh, God. This is a sad episode. Combini Boy's gone, Drew passing away, and now we're going to talk about Venus Angelic.
I know.
Still obviously abusing alcohol, but I think she's in Europe. I was trying to look at like the signs in the background, and they were in English, so...
Yeah, I believe she got sent back to Switzerland.
Oh, okay.
So her husband or ex-husband finally signed the divorce agreements, so I'm led to believe. And then because of that, she had no mode of actually staying in the country. So what happened? She got sent back to Switzerland. But before that, she was quite a mad woman on socials. She was propositioning herself for prostitution. She was obviously drinking to excess and maybe on other substances, but we don't know that. but definitely drinking and drinking consistently.
Mm-hmm.
So Venus Angelic was one of the OGs from, what would you say, like 2014 or something?
Mm-hmm.
So she was the living doll, the Lolita figure, kind of caricature that her mum developed. And she was on a lot of like global talk shows about, you know, her developing this kind of like gothic Lolita character and all of that. She moved to Japan. Her relationship with her mum quickly degenerated, and then she kind of spiraled. So she started drinking a lot. She started threatening self harm. She was constantly the VER because of self harm and alcohol abuse. And then she had an entirely different OnlyFans arc, which is dire to say the least. She looks completely zonked out of her mind. And then I think about a month ago, we were talking about it on the Discord, her mum was celebrating that she's getting sent back to Switzerland. And her mum is a different character unto herself anyway. But it appears that Venus is back in Europe and still drinking. But I think the burnout just kind of continues as well. Margaret Palomo, her mother, has set up a GoFundMe to rescue her Venus's original YouTube account, which apparently has been left unclaimed. So she's trying to solicit money to take her daughter's YouTube account as well. So it's kind of a sad arc, but she would have been our third or fourth episode, right? I think third was Daniel Lord, fourth was Venus.
Oof. I can confirm that.
It doesn't matter. It was super early on. And when we had the original Cock episode around Venus...
she was episode 6.
Episode 6.
Yeah.
When we had that original episode, what we concluded was that this poor girl was potentially being manipulated by her mother, and we could not give her a nomination. So we gave the nomination to her mother.
We sure did.
We sure did. But anyway, that was a dark arc. Speaking of dark arcs, how about Ryan Boundless?
Yay!
Yeah.
Cam, do you want to give a slight summary of Ryan Boundless?
Ryan Boundless came to Japan. Ryan Boundless did not do well in Japan. Ryan Boundless made a porno in Japan. Like I say, he was hired to work on a porno in Japan, which was awful. Where you can listen to us give a live reaction to it if you really want to go find the old episode.
I don't know if I'm releasing that one again, guys. That was rough.
Nah, that was rough. But the one where we listened to the porno, that was actually pretty gold. We could just re-release that audio track. If you want to go find the porno, go ahead.
It's mostly us dry heaving.
Yeah, he's complains constantly about Japan, tells everyone that they're losers, are always going to be losers, and unless they're earning 6 figures back in, 2014 times, they're all losers. And then he left and he went on, he's basically a sex pest, right? It's like a sex tourist. And he ended up in Africa continuing to be a sex pest.
The correct answer is satisfied.
Talking about weebs and losers in Japan, even though he hadn't lived there for years. And where is Ryan now, Nick?
Ryan is living in a car in the United States at the moment. So I really wish I could actually just put, maybe Jay can do this, put the Cash for Gold South Park over the background, the bum, 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 bum. Because
does he own the car?
I actually don't know that.
Ladies, he's a homeowner.
No, he's a car owner. Very different.
This is my car. He can be one of those dudes who's like a libertarian who's like, this is my place of residence. You cannot remove me from a residence without a warrant. He can be complaining to the police. I'd like to see that.
I think the thing about Ryan Boundless was that he, especially in Africa, he tried to present himself as a pickup artist. Like, this is how I persuade all of these women to have sex with me, kind of thing. So it was kind of
the trick to women is money.
Yeah, he was kind of doing like this proto Andrew Tate thing.
By the economic, situation, the market, I am considered wealthy in this village.
So just let me read off some of the
Pick up
titles.
Artistry 101.
Yeah, let me read off the titles from some of his most recent uploads. And this is the most recent. My mental decline has started.
Started.
I long for purity. The American diet gave me tits. Expensive America making me depressed. Overseas wife hunt. Disgusted with being a slave. I'm tired of man boys who hate America.
Man boys? Oh, what? Who? Wait, who's a man boy in this man's reflection?
It keeps going, guys. Everybody is doing better than me. Very difficult saving money in the US.
I hate man boys. I'm a teenager.
Yeah, social isolation getting real. But yeah, everything is just this car vlog life where he just hates what he's doing. He's living in a station wagon. How about this? Squirming larvae under my skin. Graphic African insect infection.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm still going to say it. Daniel Lord's headlines are still better.
True.
They're still what was that one?
It's like...
I thought you had the list in front of you.
No, but the Daniel Lord one I think Cam is referring to is like, my sex doll gave me syphilis or something like that.
Yeah.
It was something crazy like that.
It's like, the sex dolls are better than real women. And then the next one, I'm getting divorced. And the third one, I got syphilis from my sex doll. And I'm getting back with my wife. I had to throw out the sex doll. And then the next one's like, me and my wife had to go dig up the sex doll again.
Yeah, and wasn't it a male sex doll?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Oh. Yeah,
Although,
Daniel Lord was a character, though.
Yeah. He still is. I mean, he's still like getting hired, getting fired. Like every video is something crazy happening with him.
Yeah.
That should be an ongoing segment as well, just like reading titles of like
where's Daniel Lord? Where's
Daniel Lord? Where's Daniel Lord? Where's Ryan Boundless? But yeah, I think like with this new cock, jvlogging's kind of dead, right?
Thank Christ.
Yeah, it had to.
I think we helped kill it, so
probably it all moved to TikTok and Kick, and that
that's something. That's an app we should start.
And that stupid Japan Eats YouTube and TikTok, which is just that guy with a really depressed voice eating Japanese food.
One thing you don't know about eating in Japan. First of all, when you go to the restaurant, they'll probably offer you a gaijin menu.
No, it's just like, well, I hated myself, so I wanted to go to like it. I'll find some clips for next episode.
No, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
I haven't. I want to hear this.
He's huge.
You know who I want to do next episode?
Who?
Pathos.
Ooh, yeah.
Because that guy has dropped off. That guy.
I'm inclined to agree.
That guy used to be the king. I was like, yeah, this guy fucking rocks. And now it's like, hey, Japanese television is weird. Yeah, it sure is, buddy.
All right, we'll have to talk about that one. We have to be entertaining to a new audience, right? So,
given that everything's Gen Z now, we're gonna go to the TikTok audience. We have to go where nobody's been before.
Hey, look,
millennial has been before.
Just try to understand that Johnny Somali is not very skibbity toilet. He is. Look, we are chicken jockey.
We're chicken jockey.
We are chicken jockey. He is not skibbity toilet. You guys get it?
I had some popcorn to just completely destroy my studies right now.
Sadly, from my things my daughter tells me, I'm kind of understanding what you're saying. So, okay. Anyway. All right, gents. We've been going for a bit now. Why don't we stick a fork in this one?
Stick a fork in this one. Yeah, we'll be back.
Wait, sorry. Can I mention one other thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Tikio Sam spent 2 hours crying on stream.
Yes.
Would you know my name
Oh,
if I saw you in heaven? Would it be the same?
okay. So,
like here's the thing, just to point out this, during the time between episodes,
mm-hmm.
My father passed away.
Very sorry.
Sorry about that.
I did not spend 2 hours crying about it, just to sort of bring up that I don't know how close you are to a person, but yeah, there's a point where it's like, that's fake. You don't give that much of a shit. Like there wasn't constant streams and constant companionship. 2 hours of crying on a live stream, that's performative.
Did you see Tikio's upload to Instagram where he said he was barred from seeing him in hospital or something?
Yeah, like Drew was like, don't come see me.
Yeah. So I want to find like Sam's comment. So like Drew's son flew from Canada to here, posted a long, heartfelt thing.
Yeah, wonderful message as well.
Yeah, I absolutely like it was good. And then I'm trying to find Sam's comment. Here it is. Tikio Sam. Thick Daddy Drew, back at it again. Crying face emoji.
Oh, fuck.
Like his son just wrote a message about his dad is dying and he lost the ability to speak to him. Tikio Sam, Thick Daddy Drew, back at it again, crying face emoji.
Guys,
it boggles the mind.
That was not very Skibbity Toilet.
That was not. Yes, I'm assuming that's. I'm assuming that means what I think it means.
A new host has been selected.
Anyway, all right, guys, let's get out of here, huh?
Yeah, let's get out of here. We'll be recording, every 2 weeks or so, whenever we feel like it.
Sure.
Maybe.
We'll think about it.
I did get one message on Discord from a follower who just wanted to write this to Drew.
Mm-hmm.
Drew signals for true end of a Corona era of Japan. It started off amazing with less goobers in the country and has ended some 5 years later in devastation with Saitama's finest exiting early.
I can agree to that. Do the side mirrors on your car fold in when you lock it?
Yeah, but you have to. There's a setting to automate that.
Okay, a year ago, more than, the driver's side mirror on my car stopped turning in. You know what I mean? Like when you lock the door and unlock the door, it pulls out. So I was like, man, I can hear the engine whirring. It's just it's just not turning. And I got yelled at, like when you park your car at the mall and they got to like put it on the tracks and put it in that contraption and all that stuff.
One of the parking elevators.
Yeah, exactly. So, they go, oh, we can't do it unless you. So I had to like manually move it and all that stuff. So we took the car in to take a look at it and said, hey, can you give us a quote on that? And they were like, yeah, it's going to be $500 or $600 to fix this. And I was like, yeah, for $600, it's going to stick out. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I said, you know what? I know the damn thing is on. I can hear it, right? So I go on YouTube.
You mean you can hear the motor whirling in the...
Yes, I
Right.
can hear it working, but it's not working, right? So anyway, I watch a YouTube video. It's like 27 minutes long. It goes through everything. How to open it up, how to look at it, how to test everything, blah, 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 blah. The first thing this video said was, listen to make sure the engine is whirring. And I said, okay, I know it does, but I'll step one, that's what I'll do. So I am now a YouTube expert in side mirrors closing and opening.
Okay, so you got it working.
No.
Get
Get this, right? So my wife and I had to run some errands. So I get to the car first, and I'm like, oh, let me test it out. I lower the window. I put my ear right next to the damn thing. I press the button. It closes.
Okay.
Over a year. Didn't work. When I'm finally willing to like get quotes on it and then crack it open myself, it closes. And I'm like,
yeah, cars will do that.
I clicked the button again. It opened. I clicked it 10 times. Open, closed flawlessly. And I said, what the hell? It's been messed up for over a year. So
yeah, cars work when they want to and don't when you need them to.
All right, Cam, what's your car story?
I got drunk and drove my car into the garage.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And just right into the wall. We had like a partition wall. Now we don't have a partition wall.
I thought it was like a joke. Like, yeah, I just parked it in the garage, but you actually drove it into the garage.
I drove it into the garage wall.
So it's inside of the garage, and then you proceeded to continue until the front of your car was trying to get outside the garage.
I'd had a couple of beers, and I had never driven stick before. So I was like, I can do this. But no matter what pedal I pushed, it just kept going forward.
Yeah, it turns out that manual transmissions kind of jerk forward a lot. When you think that you're actually trying to move it closer, you can actually make the car jump.
Yeah, so right into the wall. And then I had to, the insurance company paid me enough to get rid of it, but not to replace it.
Yeah, they'll do that. So this is the quality content that the Cock fans have been missing out on.
Yes. Tales from Suburbia, Volume 1.